The thing that I think about with Dallas and Minnesota is that Dallas, is coming off a loss against the Packers. In an overtime game where it's like, oh, they probably should have been able to win this game, but like Christian Watson emerged, a couple of really costly Dak Prescott picks, and then to be honest, a couple of their TDs really came off of mistakes from the Packers, in their last game. Vikings obviously with a crazy game against Buffalo where it's like they won, and I do think that this team kind of proved that they can, overcome adversity, which is what I was looking for against Buffalo because I did predict the Vikings would lose this game, which by all accounts I honestly think that they should have. But now that the Eagles, they're behind the Eagles because of the second week of the season getting crushed by the Eagles. But now with them having the same record, it's going to be kind of just a duel week by week to see who continues to win, who continues to hold the number one spot in the NFC. The Cowboys need to win because they lose this game against the Vikings and Washington probably wins their game. They are then, not the same record because Dallas has had a bye and Washington hasn't had one yet. So in Washington would be 6-5, although Dallas would be 6-4. But you're treading in territory where it's like you don't want to start having a rough skid at this point of the season. This is the type of time that can break a team where it's like even if you barely eke into the playoffs, if you had a last bad couple of months, in the season, teams are gonna try and feast on you early in the playoffs, and prey on the weaknesses that you've had. But the Cowboys, to me, can win this game. They didn't play well, in my opinion, defensively against the Packers. Micah Parsons, I think, had a low one pressure the whole game when obviously I guess maybe not obviously, but the Dallas pass rush has had the most sacks, the most pressure, and been the most dominant at getting to the QB all year. And that's another reason why I'm going to say that I think Dallas has every chance to win this game. I think with the way that the Packer game went and then seeing the Packers, lose, I think that it's going to be a shake to their system that they need to get on track, that they need to play better, and they need to seal these games. But I do think that especially against the Packers team that's been letting up a lot of pressure, to Aaron Rodgers all year. But and I think that the formula for beating Kirk Cousins is being able to put pressure on him because he is a quarterback that throws picks under pressure. 8 interceptions on the year. This is a lot for a team that it's only lost one game. But the one game they lost, he had thrown like 2 or 3 picks, to the Eagles because of pressure. Obviously with Dallas, it's like you have Dak Prescott back. I guess you can't see his stats right here because he's only been back a few weeks, but I think that he's been making throws and he made a couple mistakes against the Packers, but I think that Prescott is going to be able to carve up a less equipped Vikings defense. That obviously, gives up 3 touchdowns a game against an offense that it's like now they're getting gradually better with Dak, scoring more. This isn't really a fair representation of their offense with a better quarterback than Cooper Rush, even though I think Cooper Rush, was doing a good job. But I think that Dallas can go into the Vikings and give them a hard time. I think it's going to be one of those games where it's like they need to snap back and they need to force pressure. And, you look at, the Dallas defense, they do give a lot of yards rushing, I think, but they don't give as much passing. Their passing defense was definitely a little abysmal. Watson kind of just carved them up and was getting free touchdowns. But I think that, you look at this game and they just need to cover Jefferson because Jefferson is literally carrying the Vikings Don't care what anybody says. They have role players. Everyone else is a role player on that offense. Jefferson is carrying the offense. When you have almost half the yards of what your QB has passing, you're carrying the offense. And I mean, Dalvin Cook's not having a bad year. Really easy to do. Really easy to do when, I mean, everyone's trying to tee off of Jefferson. Zeke, I guess, is questionable still. I don't think that's huge. I think that their offense played fine for the Cowboys. I think it was their defense that kind of let them down. But I think that the Cowboys can win this game, and I'm going to pick the Cowboys by 3. Bold prediction. I mean, I know that they say they're the favorite here, but it's like after last week, wouldn't you think that Minnesota is? But yeah, like I said, I think that, Minnesota's been kind of underestimated all year, and I guess even last week, it's like wouldn't say it was a fluke because they did play hard, but they got things that went their way at the end of the game. Numerous things to help them win. But I think that Dallas, I think their defense rebounds. I think they put pressure on Kirk Cousins. I know that the Vikings are without Christian Darrisaw, which is huge. I'm pretty sure he's still hurt. Let me see here. So we have... Is Darrisaw not even on here? Maybe Darrisaw is playing. So if he is playing, that's huge, but I know that he's coming back from an injury. So it's like, I mean, maybe the Dallas takes advantage of that. All it takes is one really weak lineman that's an outside tackle to, completely sabotage your game plan or make you have to change your game plan because you can't throw downfield and that sort of thing. But the Dallas Cowboys, let's see here. The Dallas Cowboys didn't elevate a running back from the practice squad. Elliott is expected to play. He'll probably be on limited snaps. They're probably still going to use Pollard, who I think is just a fine back. I mean, good speed, good catching ability. DeMarcus Lawrence, he's going to play. He's going to play. Anthony Barr, even, having been on Minnesota, it's like knows that team is going to be talking to his teammates. I always think that's kind of one of those things where, if a player's been on a team and he was there for, a long time and knows the team, he can maybe tell you how, to, make Kirk tick or make Kirk frustrated. I think it's always kind of a leg up, especially when they're on the opposite side of the ball. Which I think we also saw, week 1 of the season with Von Miller, and the Bills handling the Rams, and when he was obviously on the team for the Super Bowl run last year. But yeah, looking at this, I think that the Cowboys can turn it around, really put pressure on Kirk, because I don't think that the Vikings are going to be able to just run the ball all game. Well, they're not going to be able to run the ball all game, to beat Dallas. Dallas, I think that their offense is just too efficient. But yeah, Dallas by 3. That's mainly because Minnesota's been in just about every game this year. But yeah, some of the games that they've won have been winning ugly, like some have said. But yeah, I think Dallas by 3 in this game.